Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Strange Times Poetry Broadcast. I'm coming to you live from the Poetry Bookshelf to bring you three uplifting poems, one by a famous author, one by a friend, and one by myself. If you haven't watched before, please like and subscribe to our Facebook page so that you will know all updates about new episodes and other goodies. And today I'm going to be talking about reversing patterns. I think one of the most difficult things for me in this time is being reminded, both consciously and subconsciously, of difficult times in my life and having an almost automatic reaction, almost a physical reaction to a difficult time now. And it's very hard to reverse those patterns, to notice them, and sometimes just to hold still, to stay in this present moment and wait and let things come to pass as they need to. So the first poem that I'm going to be reading is by CAConrad, who is an amazing queer author. Their book, While Standing in Line for Death, is from Wave Books. And CAConrad is an experimental writer. Their work is very stream of conscious, edited down, of course, but I think one of the things that I really love about CAConrad's work is how it approaches that subconscious, how it taps in to those underpinnings of the mind, of the spirit, and also is just a powerhouse. So this piece, Poetry is Short for Kicking in the Door, I think it talks about how to deal with that present and also how to use poetry as resistance, as going against patterns of oppression. Poetry is short for kicking in the door. Poems are animal. A poet for those dead before they die. Now that the present is so endangered, we can stop worrying about the future. Dear United States of America, I do not understand how many kinds of love exist, but we need every trickle to stop the hemorrhaging wounds we created in our sleep. If weakness is tender, solicitous kisses, I will be the weakest in the room. My puckering asshole made me a bride of poetry. Dirty the sheets with my animal, my delicious dirty animal. We walked a flight of stairs, walked and walked into the stars, until doors to other worlds appeared, each step much brighter. It is good to be high maintenance, outside your price range once in a while, a rush when Flint strikes a poem, making us so much older than last night. The burden and glory of poetry is in our fractures. We used to get rid of it, now we keep it as long as we can, like the joy of dodging creditors. If strength is cruelty, apathy, and murder, I will collapse with another like me to suffer with flowers, so the brotherhood of concussions will not win. One thing that I love about this poem is how it rejoices in weakness as in vulnerability. If strength is cruelty, apathy, and murder, I will collapse with another like me to suffer with flowers. Shutting down, being hard in this time, it may seem like strength, but it is also cruel. And I love that epiphany of the poem. I also just feel so strongly this line, now that the present is so endangered, we can stop worrying about the future. I do feel like that speaks to this moment. All right. The next poem I'm going to read is by Annah Anti Palindrome from DNA Hymn. I met Anna at Lambda Literary, and also we are sibling press. We're press mates from Sibling Rivalry Press. And the reason that Anna is called Annah Anti Palindrome is the concept that palindromes, words or phrases that can be read back and forwards, are in a sense repeating patterns in a negative way. And so Anna added an H to their name to break that pattern, to end the palindrome, to end a cycle of generational trauma and, in many ways, abuse and loss. And one of the beautiful things of this book is there's sprinkled throughout, there are a series of palindrome poems, but the last one breaks the palindrome with the poet's name by spelling it with the H so that it's not able to be read backwards and forwards. And that's what I'm going to read for you right now. It's untitled. Oh, dissent I witness, I do. Oh, desire rise, do. Are we not drawn onward to new era? Are we not drawn onward, we few, drawn onward to new era? Anna? And I don't know if you can see. There we go. But these are all palindromes. I just love, as much as we need to stay in the present moment, I just love that idea of being drawn onward to the new era. Maybe a new era of self that breaks these patterns and what we are drawn to. The ability to move ourselves towards safety, towards reversing our patterns, even if we are in a difficult time. All right, and my last poem that I'm going to read is by myself. It's called Telescope, and it's from my Ice Age series. Once again, dealing with an apocalypse that doesn't actually end the world. It's not the genre fiction where a new utopian society begins or a new dystopia. It's really just reality, but more difficult, kind of like where we are now. So writing from this space helped me suss out some of those issues. This is Telescope. The first night we sat and watched all the things we would forget freeze and brown, a first frost on the world, and every noun we'd never use again, thawing and rotting for a second before complete descent into winter. Why do we say first frost when each year it comes again and again? Or so it was once. We made a fire in the blip of electricity as one does for the end of the world on a bit of tile convening at the kitchen. But it wasn't the end, just how we lost our security deposit and 2 dining room chairs. We sat in the blip, you next to your pants that had collapsed, a telescope from your waist, my hands searching out all that was still, warm and wet. So in this poem, there are many, many broken patterns. The first frost that comes every year and how the world will now be frozen. And all the things forgotten as the world changes. But I think the redemption of this poem is the space in the blip of electricity when the lights go out, and after destroying the furniture and making it into a fire, the speaker just reaches for love, for connection. And this is another way to break pattern, is through love. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you at the next Strange Times Poetry broadcast. In the meantime, stay safe, stay sane, and good night. Bye!